Hello dear students, welcome to the biology online class. In the previous chapter, we looked at the broad classification of living organisms under the system proposed by Whittaker, wherein he suggested the five kingdom classification, which includes kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, Animalia, and kingdom Plantae. So, in this chapter, we will deal in detail with further classification within kingdom Plantae, popularly known as plant kingdom. So, coming to the classification, which includes artificial system, natural system, and phylogenetic system of classification. So, the first one is artificial system of classification, and this was the earliest system of classification, and they were based on the vegetative characters or superficial morphological characters such as habit, color, number, and shape of leaves, etc. And this system of classification was given by Linnaeus. Okay, so artificial system of classification, it was given by Linnaeus, and this system of classification was based on the vegetative characters or the morphological characters of the plants, such as about the habit, about the color, number, and shape of leaves, etc. Clear? So the second type of classification is natural system of classification, and this classification is based on the natural affinities among the organisms, and it considers both the external as well as the internal features, that means the morphological and anatomical features like ultrastructure, anatomy, embryology, etc. And this system of classification, it was given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. Okay, now coming to the third type of classification, that is phylogenetic system of classification, and these are based on the evolutionary relationship among the organisms. And this system of classification assumes that the organisms in the same taxa have a common ancestor, and this system of classification was given by Engler and Prandtl. So these are the three types of system of classification. The first one is artificial classification or artificial system of classification, and this type of classification was proposed by Linnaeus, and it is based on the vegetative characters of the plants such as color, number, or the shape of the leaves, etc. Whereas the second type of classification, the natural system of classification, it was given by Bentham and Hooker, George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker, and this classification, it was based on the external and internal features of the plants. Okay, and the third type of classification, phylogenetic system of classification, it was given by Engler and Prandtl, and this type of classification is based on the evolutionary relationships among the organisms. Okay, now other sources to resolve the problems in classification includes numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy, and chemotaxonomy. So numerical taxonomy means which is now easily carried out using computers and is based on all observable characters. Numbers and codes are assigned to all the characters and the data are processed. Thus, hundreds of characters can be equally considered. And about cytotaxonomy, it is based on cytological informations like chromosome number, structure, behavior, etc. Whereas chemotaxonomy, it uses the chemical constituents of the plants. Okay, so these are about the numerical cytotaxonomy and chemotaxonomy. Now, the kingdom Plantae, it includes 5 groups. They are algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperm. Now coming to the first group, that is algae, the characters are as follows. Here the plant body is called as thallus. In algae, the plant body is called as thallus, and the thallus are photosynthetic in nature. That means they are green in color due to the presence of chlorophyll pigment, so they are autotrophic in nature, and most of them are found in aquatic habitat. That means found both in freshwater as well as marine habitats. Okay, and they also occur in moist stones, soils and wood, and some members occur in association with the fungi called lichen and animals, for example on sloth bear. The form and the size of the algae is highly variable. They may be microscopic unicellular forms, for example chlamydomonas, to colonial forms, for example volvox, or filamentous like example Eulothrix and Spirogyra. Okay, the size and the form of algae is highly variable. That means some members are microscopic and unicellular like chlamydomonas, and some members are colonial, they are found in colony, for example volvox, and other members are filamentous in nature. That means the cells are arranged one above the other to form a chain like structure. That nature is called as filamentous, for example Spirogyra, Eulothrix, etc. Coming to the reproduction part, so here the members of algae, they reproduces by three methods: vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So the vegetative type of reproduction, it takes place by fragmentation. So after fragmentation, each fragment develops into a thallus. Okay, so due to some reasons, what happens here, the plant body of algae, it breaks and form several pieces. So here each piece is called as fragment, and the process of formation of fragments are called as fragmentation. Later on, each fragment develops into a new thallus. Okay, that is about the vegetative type of reproduction. Coming to the asexual type, so here asexual reproduction takes place by the production of spores, for example zoospores, and this zoospore is motile due to the presence of flagella, and they germinate to give rise to new plants. Okay, that is about the asexual type of reproduction. And the last type of reproduction is sexual type. So here sexual reproduction, it takes place by the fusion of male and female gametes. And under sexual reproduction there are three types: isogamous type, anisogamous type and oogamous type. Isogamous type of sexual reproduction means it involves the fusion of gametes similar in size. That means here both the male and the female gametes are morphologically similar. Okay, and they may be flagellated or non-flagellated. That means they may be motile or non-motile. Okay, whereas anisogamous means here the gametes are dissimilar in size. So the male and the female gametes are dissimilar in size. Example, some species of Eudorina. And oogamous means fusion between one large non-motile female gamete and a smaller motile male gamete is called as oogamous type of sexual reproduction. Okay, so in isogamous type of reproduction, both the gametes are similar in size, whereas in anisogamous type of reproduction, the gametes are dissimilar in size, whereas in oogamous type, the female gamete is large and non-motile, whereas the male gamete is small and motile. Example for oogamous type, volvox, fucus, etc. Am I clear? So these are about the reproduction. Coming to the next point, benefits of algae or importances of algae. Through photosynthesis, they fix half of the total carbon dioxide on Earth and increase the level of dissolved oxygen. So, these algal members use carbon dioxide during photosynthesis and it converts the carbon dioxide content into oxygen. So, thus it increases the level of oxygen in the atmosphere. Clear? And the second point is they are primary producers and the basis of the food cycles of all aquatic animals. So as I said before, all the algal members are autotrophic in nature. That means they can synthesize their own food. Okay, so that they act as a primary producers. Okay, and the third point is about 70 species of marine algae are used as food. So 70 species of marine algae are used as food. For example, Porphyra, Laminaria, Sargassum, etc. And the next point is agar, which was extracted from Gelidium and Gracilaria, is used to grow microbes and in ice creams and jellies. So agar, it is a product obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria members, and this agar powder, it is used in a tissue culture laboratory to grow the microbes and also in the preparation of ice creams and jellies. The next point is some marine brown and red algal members produce hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids means water holding substances. For example, algin, which was extracted from brown algae, and carrageenan, which was extracted from red algae. So algin and carrageenan are the hydrocolloids, water holding substances, and these are used commercially. Okay, the last point is protein rich unicellular algae like chlorella and spirulina are used as food supplements by the space travelers. Means the chlorella and spirulina, these are unicellular algal members and they are rich in protein. So they are used as food supplements by the space travelers. Okay, so these are about the benefits of algae. Coming to the classification, algae, it mainly includes three classes: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae members are commonly called as green algae. Phaeophyceae members are commonly called as brown algae and Rhodophyceae members are commonly called as red algae. So these are the outline of classification of algae. Understood? So once again I'll repeat the topic. Algal members or the plant kingdom, it mainly includes 5 groups: algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So these algal members are autotrophic in nature and the size may vary from unicellular microscopic form to colonial or filamentous form. And about the classification, it includes 3 classes: class Chlorophyceae, class Phaeophyceae and class Rhodophyceae. Class Chlorophyceae are commonly called as, the members are commonly called as green algae, and class Phaeophyceae members are commonly called as brown algae, and class Rhodophyceae members are commonly called as red algae. So these are about today's topic. Thank you.